Okay, this is our alternative medicine lecture, part one. If it worked, it wouldn't need to be called alternative medicine or integrative or complementary. We have learned more about the human body in the last 100 years than we have learned in the last 2,000. Medical science tended to stall after Hippocrates and Galen wrote their books, and until the 1500s, till the Renaissance, really nothing new happened. We have detailed models of the human anatomy, a powerful understanding of disease and how they operate, as well as a complex understanding of the interior workings of the human brain. We might be tempted to think that the scientific method which gave us this knowledge would be the foundation for all medical treatments. This would be an incorrect assumption. Fad cures emerge when a new technology or discovery with a mysterious function occurs. This is Radithor. It is a solution of water and radium-226 and radium-228. Right about the discovery of radiation. It was marketed as a treatment for mental illness and retardation. And, it would cure those things if curing them meant killing the host. Right? Radithor is highly radioactive. It will give you cancer. It will kill you. And if you think this is silly, look at all the stuff that has quantum labeled on it right now. You can buy a copper quantum bracelet to help your balance. It's not new, and it's not going away. The general cure-all has always been a popular item for the medically illiterate or the plain gullible, or in this case, the willfully ignorant. This is the Electrete mechanical heart. It is an electrical device that vibrates. You just take the wand and rub it over whatever part of your body that is sore or sick. You can see the big tube at the bottom, big cylinder at the top has a little roller. Just hook that up to the battery and it'll buzz a little bit. It was produced between the years of 1919 and 1940. It has the distinction of being the first product prosecuted by the Food and Drug Administration for the misbranding of a medical product for misleading claims in 1940, under legislation against such claims in the 1938 Food and Drug and Cosmetics Act of 1938. The inventor, Charles Willie Keat, claimed that he used it to treat his menopause, which is a disease he didn't have because it's a he cannot get menopause, and also this will not treat it. It's not a condition which is cured because it's not a disease. But he said that with a straight face. I would love to have been there. The history of medicine has been a horror show. As late as the 1860s, your sickness was probably the result of having too much blood. So the treatment is, well, let's get rid of that blood, right? Solution based on the four humors theory that your body is possessed of black bile, yellow bile, blood, and phlegm, and disease is caused by too much blood. You'll feel a little better afterwards because you'll be delirious and dizzy from lack of blood, but it is not going to make you feel better. It'll make you feel better, but it will not cure anything. Have a head injury? Got a little headache? That's symptomatic of too much pressure in your head. So let's get the drill because it's trephination time. This is the oldest medical procedure that we know of. This is a skull from a woman of I'm not even going to try to say that. Over 4,000 years ago. Those holes in her skull could only be the result of somebody drilling into it. Now, I've seen a recreation of how they used to do this back then. Like on a pig skull. And it's not drilling, it's cutting. They just scrape a hole in your head. The other thing to notice is that the picture of those holes, if you look at them close enough, you'll notice that the holes have rounded edges, which means this woman not only went through this procedure but survived it. Right? The rounded edges mean the skull was beginning to heal itself. If you have brain swelling, this actually will help, but no, we've got better ideas now. So, this is all in preface to the idea that there are two kinds of medicine, that which works and that which doesn't. The former, ideally, undergo a period of research followed by a series of tests. The latter, ideally, are those that have failed those tests and are considered useful in that we can rule out what does not work. Unfortunately, belief in the stuff that doesn't work has fueled a multi-billion-dollar industry that has caused people to delay and deny established medical treatments. Yet none of this means that believers are necessarily buying into some kind of conspiracy theory. People that bought colloidal silver from Jim Baker or Alex Jones to cure coronavirus, they might not be buying into a conspiracy theory, but their audience, that type of audience definitely usually does. But it doesn't mean they aren't buying into it either. Anytime you see this headline, the cure they don't want you to know about, or the one that I keep seeing, the doctors are mystified by this and want to shut it down. Like, no, okay, it's just clickbait. Pushing a conspiracy theory that doctors don't want you to know about a certain cure. All right, what these conspiracy theories are what I called in the very beginning of the course, implied conspiracy theories. No one's coming out directly saying that there's a nefarious they, but what they have to believe in order for their claim to be true is that the medical establishment purposely refuses to recognize these treatments as being valid, either because pharmaceutical companies are keeping these treatments down to protect their profits, or for the funsies. I don't know what the other thing is. Currently, most conspiracy theories we have discussed are the domain of the ultra-right. These types of theories are almost exclusive to the domain of the left. Why? I have no idea. But your typical anti-vaxxer that isn't ultra-religious and isn't like a libertarian who isn't opposed to the science of vaccines but is opposed to the government's ability to tell you to take a vaccine. Set those two groups aside, and your average vaccines cause autism person is usually affluent. They usually are on the ultra-left. The reasoning for this might be because they're open to other cultures way too much, so they might accept some mystic saying that taking this herb is something they've used for 4,000 years and it's always helped them, whereas the right wing is a little closed off to such cultural integration. But I'm not making a judgment call on the right in this case. What I'm saying is the left way too open. That might be it. I don't know. That's just me. It's not even a hypothesis. I'm just guessing. Why is this important, though? Because neglect of legitimate medical treatment or legitimate medical advice can be fatal. We're seeing this right now. With every person who doesn't think that this disease is going to affect them is like, I'm going to go, blah, blah. Right? That person is ignoring medical advice, and it can be fatal, especially since, aside from people in your generation, we're just like, no, I can go out anyway because I want to party. Right, those older individuals who think that they don't need, like, no doctor's going to tell them how to live. Right, they're in the fatal group. Right, they're in the group that will die from this disease. Much more likely, you people are not going to die from it. Like, they will. A person suffering from cancer should see an oncologist, not a nutritionist. Right, diet is important. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to heal a serious condition. So let's illustrate this with someone whom statistically around 15% of you have one of his devices in your pocket or on your desk. Right, Steve Jobs, he's a Microsoft employee, I guess. I don't know. Kidding. That always gets somebody mad. Every time I make that joke, it makes someone mad, which is why I make it. Anyway, he's largely credited with making Apple the company that it is today. When I was your age, Apple was a niche product. If you didn't own an Apple computer, not because like PCs were better, I mean, I think they are, but because they were high-performance computers for video, digital editing. Most people did not have them. Jobs, to his credit, brought the device into everyone's home with the iPod and the iMac, which was like, he made a PC. He made the home computer like fun and stylish, which was his innovation. Which is like, why, if it works well, why can't it look good too? Right? And he stole it all from Xerox. This is documented. Him and Gates toured the Xerox computer facility in California, and they both came up with weird ideas afterwards. Strange. Anyway, why am I bringing him up? Because in 2003, he is diagnosed with islet cell neuroendocrine cancer. It is a pancreatic cancer, which pancreatic cancer is already rare. But this is unique in the fact that it is rare for pancreatic cancer, but one of the features of it is that it is readily treatable with surgery. Jobs decides, instead of surgery, he's going to try a list of alternative to established medical treatments, including a vegan diet, acupuncture, herbal treatments, juice fast, which is ironic because his constant imbibing of fruit juice is what hurt his pancreas to begin with. Bowel cleansings, and contacting a psychic, which I'm not sure why that would help. Oop, think different. Finally, in 2004, he gets surgery, but the damage had been done. In 2009, he got a liver transplant, which I think they should have denied him. He died in 2011. Jobs' faith in alternative medicine likely cost him his life. He had the only kind of pancreatic cancer that is treatable and curable. Essentially, he committed suicide. Dr. Barry Castleth, Chief of Integrative Medicine, Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I should comment a little more on that. So Steve Jobs, who most people regard as a brilliant individual, was still fooled by this, right? And largely it's because he had an ego, right? He didn't think anybody, he was the smartest guy in most rooms he was in, so he felt nobody's going to tell me how to live. And he thought all these other treatments would work, and he's dead now because of that. We will continue next with Ignaz Semmelweis, the most famous person who saved your life that you've never heard of. As always, email me with any questions, comments, and I'll talk to you again later.